Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be discussing the history of ancient Greece, one of the most influential civilizations in the world. Ancient Greece was a civilization that emerged in the 8th century BC and developed until the 6th century AD. It was located in the southeastern part of Europe and consisted of a group of city-states, each with its own government and way of life. The most famous city-states were Athens, Corinth, and Sparta, but there were many others such as Thebes, Argos, and Megara. Ancient Greece is known for its many contributions to Western civilization, particularly in the areas of philosophy, literature, art, and architecture. The Greeks developed a complex system of philosophy, with famous figures such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle contributing to the development of Western thought. They also produced a wealth of literature, including epic poems, plays, and histories. Greece's art and architecture are also well known, with the Parthenon and the Acropolis being iconic examples. The Parthenon, a temple dedicated to the goddess Athena located in the Acropolis in Athens, is considered one of the greatest examples of ancient Greek architecture. The ancient Greeks are also credited with inventing the concept of the Olympic Games, a sporting event that is still celebrated today. Ancient Greece was also known for its rich and diverse culture, which included religious rituals and practices, various festivals, and sports. They also had a strong tradition of storytelling, and they passed down their myths and legends through oral storytelling and later through written literature. The civilization of ancient Greece is widely studied and widely respected for its impact on Western civilization. Its legacy continues to be a significant influence on philosophy, literature, art, and architecture. Today, the city-state of Athens, located in Attica, was one of the most powerful and influential city-states in ancient Greece. It is best known for its role in the development of democracy, as well as for its contributions to philosophy, literature, art, and architecture. Athens was first settled in the Neolithic period and developed into a city-state during the Archaic period around the 8th century BC. During this time, Athens was ruled by a small group of nobles and wealthy landowners known as the Eupatrids. However, in the 7th century BC, a new class of citizens began to emerge known as the demos. These citizens, who were typically poor farmers and merchants, began to demand more political rights and a greater say in the governance of the city-state. In the mid-6th century BC, the Athenian politician Solon came to power and began a series of reforms that gave more political power to the demos and also began to lay the foundations of democracy. Solon's most significant reform was the creation of the Council of 400, which was made up of citizens chosen by lot to serve as a sort of parliament. This council had the power to propose laws and to call the assembly of the people to vote on them. After Solon, the Athenian politician Cleisthenes took the reforms of Solon further and created the world's first democracy in Athens. He reorganized the political structure of Athens so that all citizens, regardless of their wealth or social status, had the right to participate in the government. He also created the system of ostracism, which allowed citizens to vote to exile a politician from the city-state for a period of 10 years if they felt that he posed a threat to the democracy. This system of government, in which all citizens had the right to participate directly in the governance of a city-state through the assembly and through the jury that judged legal cases, was a radical departure from the traditional systems of government in Greece, which were based on the rule of a small group of nobles or tyrants. In addition to its political contributions, Athens was also famous for its contributions to Greek culture and civilization. The city-state was a major center of learning in the arts. Famous philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle all taught and studied in Athens, and the city was home to some of the greatest playwrights and poets of the ancient world, including Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, and Aristophanes. Athens was also renowned for its architecture, particularly the Parthenon, the temple dedicated to the goddess Athena built on the Acropolis. This structure, with its elegant lines and perfect proportions, is considered one of the greatest examples of ancient Greek architecture and continues to be one of the most visited tourist sites in the world. Overall, Athens played a major role in the politics and culture of ancient Greece, with its contributions in the development of democracy as well as in philosophy, literature, art, and architecture are still highly respected today and continue to be studied and celebrated. The Persian Wars were a series of conflicts fought between the Persian Empire and the city-states of Greece in the early 5th century BC. The wars had a profound impact on the development of the Greek city-states and their relationship with the Persian Empire. The First Persian War began in 492 BC. when the Persian Emperor Darius I attempted to conquer the Greek city-state of Athens and the island of Euboea. The Athenians and their allies were able to successfully defend themselves, and the Persians were forced to withdraw. In 480 BC, the Second Persian War broke out, and this time the Persians were led by King Xerxes I. This war was much larger and more destructive than the first, with the Persians invading and ravaging much of Greece. The Greeks, particularly the Spartan-led alliance, were able to make a stand against the Persian forces in the famous Battle of Thermopylae, where a small Greek force held a narrow pass against the much larger Persian army for 3 days, buying time for the Greek city-states to organize. However, the Persians were eventually able to bypass the Greek defenses and capture Athens, burning the city to the ground. But the Greeks were able to inflict a decisive defeat on the Persian navy in the Battle of Salamis, and the Persians were ultimately forced to withdraw from Greece. The Persian Wars had a significant impact on the development of the Greek city-states. The wars united the city-states of Greece, as they had to band together to defend against the Persian invasions. A sense of unity and shared identity as Greeks rather than as citizens of individual city-states was a novel and important development. The wars also led to the rise of Athens as a dominant naval power, and the city-state would eventually go on to establish the Athenian Empire, which would dominate the Greek world for several decades. The Persian Wars also had a significant impact on the Persian Empire. The defeat of the Persians in the wars marked the first major setback for the empire, and it would have a profound effect on its future expansion. The Persians also had to contend with the fact that the Greek city-states had stood up to their invasions and inflicted serious losses on their army and navy. This would have had a lasting impact on the Persian perception of the Greek city-states and would influence their relations with Greece in the future. In conclusion, the Persian Wars had a major impact on the development of the Greek city-states and their relationship with the Persian Empire. The wars united the Greeks and led to the rise of Athens as a dominant power, while also having a lasting impact on the Persian Empire and its perception of the Greek city-states. The Peloponnesian War was a prolonged conflict fought between the city-states of Athens and Sparta and their respective allies. The war lasted for 27 years from 431 to 404 BC and had a profound impact on the balance of power among the Greek city-states. The war broke out primarily due to the growing tensions between Athens, with its powerful navy and empire, and Sparta, the dominant land power of Greece. Athens, with its powerful navy and empire, controlled much of the trade and resources of the Greek world, which made the other city-states, especially the Peloponnesian League led by Sparta, increasingly resentful. Throughout the war, the two sides engaged in a series of battles and maneuvers, with neither able to gain the decisive advantage. The war featured several major battles, such as the Battle of Pylos and the Battle of Sphacteria, which ended in Spartan victory and the capture of Athenian soldiers. Athens, however, remained a formidable naval power, and it was able to defeat the Peloponnesian League in several sea battles, such as the Battle of Eretria and Battle of Arginusi. The war also saw the involvement of several other city-states and outside powers, including Thebes, Corinth, and the Persian Empire, each of whom aligned themselves with either Athens or Sparta. These alliances and shifting alliances further complicated the situation, and the war dragged on for several years. The war ended in 404 BC with the defeat of Athens and the imposition of harsh terms by Sparta. Athens lost its empire, fleet, and fortifications and was required to pay a large indemnity to Sparta. The Peloponnesian League was also dissolved, and the city-states were forced to be autonomous. The effects of the war were profound and long-lasting. The war had a devastating impact on the Greek city-states, causing widespread destruction, depopulation, and economic decline. Additionally, the power balance among the city-states shifted, with Sparta emerging as the dominant power in Greece and Athens being greatly weakened. Furthermore, the war had a profound effect on Greek society and culture, with a generation of young men lost to warfare and the decline of the Athenian democracy. Many philosophers and historians of the time, like Thucydides, considered the war to be a turning point in Greek history, marking the end of the golden age of Greece. In conclusion, the Peloponnesian War was a prolonged and devastating conflict that had a profound impact on the balance of power among the Greek city-states. It weakened Athens and strengthened Sparta, while also causing widespread destruction and decline in Greece and marking the end of the Golden Age. The Athenian Empire was a powerful maritime empire that existed in the 5th century BC. It was led by the city-state of Athens and controlled a large portion of the trade and resources of the Greek world. The empire was established in the aftermath of the Persian Wars and rose to prominence in the wake of the Peloponnesian War. The Athenian Empire was established through a network of alliances known as the Delian League, formed in 478 BC. Athens used the League to protect the cities of the Aegean from the Persians and to control the trade routes of the region. Over time, the League became dominated by Athens, and the city used its naval power to exact tribute and control the other members of the League. During this time, Athens experienced a cultural and economic flourishing known as the Golden Age of Athens. The empire's wealth and control of trade resources allowed the city-state to invest in monumental building projects such as the Parthenon, which was built during this time. Additionally, Athens became a center of learning and culture, with philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, as well as playwrights like Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, among others, living and working during this time. However, the Athenian Empire began to decline in the latter half of the 5th century BC. Several factors contributed to its downfall, including overspending on military campaigns and building projects, a costly and prolonged war with the Peloponnesian League, and a series of setbacks in its war against the island of Sicily. In 404 BC, Athens was defeated by the Peloponnesian League led by Sparta in the Peloponnesian War. The terms of the surrender imposed by Sparta on Athens were harsh. The city was forced to give up its fleet, its walls were dismantled, and it was required to pay a large indemnity. These losses weakened Athens and ushered in a period of decline. In the following years, Athens lost its dominant position in Greece, and the city-states of the Aegean and Asia Minor began to break free from the empire. The Athenian Empire came to an end as a political entity, and the city-state of Athens was forced to become an autonomous entity, losing its imperial ambitions. In conclusion, the Athenian Empire was a powerful maritime empire that controlled a large portion of the Greek world in the 5th century BC. Its wealth and control of trade resources allowed Athens to achieve a cultural and economic flourishing known as the Golden Age of Athens. However, the empire eventually fell due to a combination of overspending, prolonged warfare, and defeats, leading to the decline of Athens and the end of the empire. Ancient Greece made many important contributions to Western civilization, particularly in the areas of philosophy, literature, art, and architecture. Philosophy. Ancient Greece is widely considered the birthplace of Western philosophy. Famous philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle all lived and worked in Greece, and their ideas continue to shape Western thought to this day. Greek philosophers were concerned with questions of knowledge, morality, and the nature of the universe, and their ideas formed the foundation of Western philosophy, including the development of logic, metaphysics, ethics, and politics. Literature. Ancient Greece also made significant contributions to literature. The Greeks are credited with developing the epic poem, a narrative poem that tells the story of a heroic figure, as well as other literary forms such as tragedy and comedy. Famous epic poems include Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Greek drama, particularly tragedy and comedy, was also an important form of literature, with playwrights such as Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides writing some of the most enduring plays in Western literature. Art. Ancient Greek art is known for its realism and idealism, as well as for its attention to proportion and harmony. Greek artists created sculptures, pottery, and architectural designs that are still admired for their beauty and technical skill. They developed various techniques like red and black figure pottery and marble sculptures, which allowed them to create lifelike figures often used to represent mythological stories or idealize human figures. They also developed the canon of proportion, which is a system of measurements and rules to create harmonious and pleasing compositions. Architecture. The Greeks also made significant contributions to architecture. Their structures, such as the Parthenon. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of ancient Greece. We hope you enjoyed learning about this fascinating civilization and the impact it has had on the world. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more great content on the history of the ancient world.